Hello guys, it's Notka again, and I've downloaded SketchUp today so I could see if I could learn it quickly and try to replicate what I was doing yesterday in 3ds Max, so I can show you how to do it in SketchUp. Yeah, SketchUp is pretty easy to learn and pretty easy to do things like flat faces and boxes, and I don't know about curvy things enough, but for all the flat things, square buildings, triangle buildings, it's really easy. So I'm going to start with I took a meter scale. I didn't actually try to export it to 3ds Max yet, but I think if you use the 1 meter scale it's fine. So I think this model is about 1/8 meters, so I'm going to erase it and create a Kerbal size for the beginning, which is 0.8. I'm just going to make it a plane so you can really see it better. I'm going to start by making a plane just like I did it yesterday, but now I can create it right away. No need for rotating like in 3ds Max, and many things are much quicker in SketchUp. That doesn't mean it's a better software. If you ask me generally about what software you should learn, I think it really depends which one you get used to, because I learned to use 3ds Max. I started using 3ds Max about 8 years ago, I think, and so I tried to move on to Maya. I tried SketchUp a few times, and also Blender, but you know, Blender interface is completely different. Every modeling software has a completely different interface and different techniques from what you learned in the previous one. So it really matters what you learn and what you get used to. So as you can see, I started with one polygon. Now it's very important to notice that in SketchUp there is a white side and kind of purplish side, and this purplish side is the back side. You probably know that already, but it's important to know it. And in game, when you export it to KSP or any other game, that side will actually be transparent. There is no face over there because the normal is pointing this way. The normals are inside vertices, but since all the 4 vertices that are binding this face are pointing in this direction, then it's completely flat. I will provide links about more information about these terms, and it's quite important to know these things and how they function. So the first thing that I need to tell you is that the problem with SketchUp is that you cannot see that one quad, and quad is a polygon with 4 sides like this one, is actually composed of 2 triangles which are either divided like this or like this. So there is no way. I was trying to view inside the views. I thought there is something, but yeah, this is something that you should really know, and this is a big problem when you extrude things in a normal SketchUp way. You draw rectangles. For example, you draw a rectangle, and what happens now is that this rectangle has hidden edges that are actually going from its vertices. So actually, if you would import it into the game, the edges would look like probably something like this, but you can't see those edges in SketchUp. And if you have one rectangle in the middle of the face, it's not a big problem. But what actually is the problem is if you, for example, make another one, you make another rectangle, and what happens now is that you will probably have something like this, which is terrible. You will have one vertex that has 5 lines in this case coming off, and now imagine if you cut it a lot of times. In games this is a very, very bad practice, because there's loads of problems that can happen out of this thing. So it's very important to know that you should always model in quads, which is a 4-sided polygon. What that means is just like I did it in previously in 3ds Max, where I cut the whole poly when I was making the windows. And this is what you're going to do in SketchUp as well. So you're not going to cut a rectangle in the middle, but actually try to cut the whole side like this. And now we are sure that these 3 quads are going to be 6 triangles that are going to be divided like this or like this, right? So that's very important. And now when we cut the window, we know that this window is going to be another quad. Now there is another problem, that this is going to happen, right? But this is quite acceptable, let's say. So what I'm going to try to do now is replicate what I did yesterday, and that means starting with a texture. I'm going to open the materials panel, window materials, and you can see in SketchUp this is how it looks. And I'm going to take the same texture as I did yesterday, which is the texture from the Common Textures pack, Tilex Facades, and I'm going to add it. Can you do it like this? No, you have to make a new material. And yeah, I'm just going to take it from here and put it, I think, like this. Yeah, that works. So if you put it in this namespace, if you drag it inside a namespace, it will automatically generate. Now if you try to, okay, we say okay, and if we try to paint the poly with it, you can see that it's really small. What we can do before is just add some more tile. Yeah, this is perfect. So 5 by 10. We should also care about the Kerbal size, as I noted before, and we can see that, let's say that it's going to be about wait, what? Oh, okay, I didn't know that the material is going to be independent. That's nice. But we're going to edit. Yeah, the way you edit mapping in SketchUp is that you right-click and go to no, wait, you need to correct the material. Select, yeah, texture, position, and now we can see that where our texture, how our texture is styled. This is really cool because you can actually see in 3D view what you're doing with the how it actually looks on the texture, while in 3ds Max you had a separate window with UV mapping tools. And although, I mean, in SketchUp there's much less tools, right? But it's much simpler. So what I'm going to do is take so as you can see, now you have these kind of control points, and this is for like perspective, skewing, moving, but you can move it like this as well. and this is for rotation, but you can also use it for scaling. So if you, this is how you rotate, but if you keep it on the line, you can scale a texture. So what we are going to do is use the same texture as yesterday. I'm just going to scale. Oops, yeah, this is what happens all the time. The first time I tried. Oh, you see. Now it moved. I need to repeat it. And now if I go to undo, it's going to... I don't understand this. Okay. there must be a better way to do this. Put it like this. Scale it up. Don't rotate it. Okay, release. A bit less. Whoops. Oh, it's almost correct. Amazing. I'm going to move it like this. Okay, so you can see that this here is the edge, and what I can do now is just draw a line and take this pulley and just erase it. And this is exactly what I would do in 3ds Max with Quick Slice. So what I'm going to do now is just put it on the origin, and now we have the same thing I did in 3ds Max yesterday. And what I'm going to do is cut the window parts as I did yesterday, so I can have these repeatable segments that I can just add up. Okay, something like this. So what I can do now is take these two and just, oops, sorry, and just copy it with holding Control key and moving from point to point, and that's it. I mean, that's much easier than 3ds Max, I must say. Okay, so now if I want to do the same thing as, oh yeah, and we can add floors. Yeah, we forgot to add an ending like this, and we can add floors like this. So that's practically it, you know. Now the problem in SketchUp is that, I mean, in one way it's a problem, in one way it's good, is that it always automatically merges lines and faces. So if you misalign these vertices when moving, for example, and you just put it lower, it's going to be a total mess. And what you do in SketchUp to mitigate this is oh, what did I do now? Is create groups. So I'm going to erase this. Oh, you see, this is the problem with SketchUp. I didn't make groups in the first place, so what you can do is actually take these pulleys and group them, make group, and now when you select them they won't join up. If you say, you see, there is Z-Fi thing, but it doesn't merge. You can still move it, and that's a very good thing because you can really quickly move things and make new segments. And if I want to repeat the same thing I did yesterday with extruding walls in SketchUp, it's even simpler, of course, because you can only use you can use the push-pull tool. Oh no. For now I'm going to explode them, and I'm going to use the, oh yeah, I need to cut the windows first. And yeah, I think it's much better to this time cut the whole thing, so I have quads everywhere and I don't need to think about these stray edges. And now I can pull these windows and I have a 3D facade. What I can do now is again group them. How do you unselect things? Alt? No. Shift. Shift? Oh yeah, Shift. Okay, so I'm going to make this a group. No wait, I need this. I'm going to make this a group. I'm going to make this a group. Wait, did I select this? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm going to make this a group, and I'm going to make this a group. So now I can just copy the pieces like this. And now we practically have a facade. If we copy up, we get floors. Wow. And yeah, you see the great thing about working in quads is that I repeat, you are always sure that the triangles are going to fit. There's going to be two triangles in one quad. So it's really good. Oh, what is this? Oh no. There is a stray edge. Yeah. You need to be careful about this. So we have a full side, and of course we forgot this again. I'm going to explode this and take these guys, copy them to the other side, and erase these. Oh, but now I'm going. How am I going to do that? Maybe Shift then this. What? Oh no. No! No! Okay. Yeah. How can I only select? Oh, I'm just going to do it like this. Oh, but now I have edges. I really don't know how to do this in SketchUp. There must be easier ways, but yeah, and I'm just used to 3ds Max. So I'm going to have a lot of junk now, but you should never let this junk happen.